Hello, hello. Welcome. This is Cindy Fisher, and this is Todd Prater with the Black
Hi, hi.
Belt
Oh, there it
News
is. Okay.
Network. I'm not going to let you introduce yourself this time.
Okay. That's okay. You can do it. You know who I am.
All right, it's time for the Black Belt News Network Spotlight. This is our newscast that we do each week. We go live on Fridays, and we are live right now. And from our houses, it's very
Yep.
windy behind me here in Dallas County.
This is my workstation, my desk.
I know we like to be where we are. Sometimes I'm in the
Yeah.
office.
Well, it's nice to have the option of working here, going to the office, or soon. I mean, I like going out and about. I like covering stories and going to see people. So getting out is good too. And we need to start doing more on location stuff.
So we
And we'll
hope
talk about
everybody,
one of those we did just recently too.
yes, and we hope you all made it through the winter weather.
Oh, God.
We're going to talk a little at the end of our newscast about what's coming in the winter weather. We are not broadcast, we're not meteorologists, but we do have friendships with meteorologists. Shane Butler with WAKA has been working with us, is going to be a partner with us. So we get some news, some weathercasts from him. So we'll share with that at the end of our broadcast. But we have so much news to talk about out of the Black Belt past our winter weather. So let's get started.
Right.
I want to start with going to Demopolis.
Yes. Speaking of live.
Big week for Demopolis. So we actually went live from the announcement at Demopolis Civic Center, and it was on Wednesday. They announced that they are getting $26.4 million from Bloomberg Philanthropies that they have been talking to. So Bloomberg Philanthropies is very active in high schools and healthcare high schools, which is what Demopolis is trying to bring. Tell us who this is, Todd.
That's Rob Pearson. He is the chairman of the Alabama School for Healthcare Science Foundation in Demopolis. And he made the announcement. And that was him. And of course, the crowd loved it. There's Mayor Woody Collins, who had a few words and said, there's still a lot to do because the legislature has to approve the school. But for them to have gotten this money and for the Bloomberg Foundation to be that interested in it, that says a lot for Demopolis landing the healthcare high school. Because remember, they had originally, it was planned by the governor said in the State of the State address is where it's going to be in Demopolis.
That's right. That was last February.
Oh, last February. But they defunded it and they gave them $500,000 for a study. Well, I would think, now we hadn't heard about that study yet.
Well, Woody told me at the event that they were supposed to have it done on the 15th and then said, no, it'll be more like the end of the month. So we are waiting to hear what that feasibility study said. But there has been some behind the scenes efforts from other communities to try to steal this from Demopolis.
Right.
And of course, the defunding was done by legislators from North Alabama, north of Birmingham market, that want to see more of the money go up there. But we are very fervently saying down here that we really need not only funding to come to the Black Belt, but also healthcare. It is so hard to find people to work in healthcare, period, but much less, very, very hard to find folks that want to come to the rural markets.
Yes.
So this is through a partnership with UAB and the doctors at UAB, but also Whitfield Hospital, which is a subsidiary of UAB. It works with UAB. So this school would be behind Whitfield, and they would be able to walk to Whitfield for on-the-job training, which is amazing for healthcare. And even the last year, like their senior year, so this is a high school, residential high school, they would go to their communities and work at the hospitals through partnerships in those communities that would give them, and the encouragement is to get these kids to stay, especially in the Black Belt, to stay, so that we can have, equal healthcare and ability down here, because things are a little worse for us down here with obesity, for diabetes, high blood pressure. So it would be great if we had this high school in the Black Belt.
And they've also one of the things that Mayor Woody said was there's been a lot of they've made a lot of connections with other cities and hospitals. What was it, 30 plus hospitals around the state that have said, yeah, we'll work with you and be partners in this. So it's not just Demopolis. If this comes to Demopolis, it's going to be good for a bunch of the state and good for, of course, people in Demopolis and in the Black Belt. So this it would be a very positive thing for it to happen in Demopolis. Now, I personally, you know, if Bloomberg's is giving 26 point whatever it is $1 million to Demopolis to for this healthcare high school, that says something pretty good right there.
They have
didn't go to any other city.
Well, in this, so Rob Pearson is actually with the foundation that they formed to bring the healthcare high school here, and they've made so many efforts to bring this here. This has been a community connecting. You see all the people clapping. That's that's students from Demopolis High School are there, and teachers that also represent HOSA, which is the healthcare association that's for the students to join. And, you know, it's got a lot of support. Also, they're going to get dual enrollment with Wallace Community College, which has a campus in Demopolis. And by the way, if you look at Jan McDonald that works with us, wrote a story last night that the Wallace campus at in Demopolis got accredited, which allows them to offer an associate's degree out of the Demopolis campus, which you have had to go to other campuses.
Exactly.
You could only do 49% in Demopolis, but now you could do the entire degree. That is such a huge deal for education and for trade for here, you know, in the Black Belt and for Demopolis and Marengo County especially. They've just got it really going on in Demopolis right now.
Yeah, it really do. And I mean, that bodes well for folks who don't want to leave home but still want to get an education and still want to get good health care.
That's right. And actually any kind of associate's degree. I know community colleges are really key in rural communities, especially because and also don't forget how much you make in healthcare. So it will be good paying jobs that will also take care of our community. Just love it. So that was a really cool, and I also make note that the $26.4 million that's being donated for it to go in Demopolis, you can't just switch it to another community. If another community does try to sneak in there, they're going to have to go ask Bloomberg and reapply. So it doesn't just switch over to another community.
And I forget how many he said, wasn't it like in the teens number of grants were given out, but Demopolis got the largest chunk of the grant.
I don't remember how many they said. We'll have to go look at our story. BlackBeltNewsNetwork.com. I always say this when you and I don't remember a detail.
Oh yeah, I know.
Go to BlackBeltNewsNetwork.com.
There you go, and that's what you need to do anyway.
It's in the story. Yep. And also make sure to sign up for our newsletter. I'm going to say this maybe a couple times. Every day at 3:00 we have a newsletter that goes out to emails, and it has all the headlines from the day, and you can just click on it and go to it. It's so much easier way to know what we're doing, because you know Black Belt News Network is a regional news site, and it's online only. We of course have the Selma Sun, and it's our print edition, comes out on Thursdays. And you can also, if you've got news items you want to see, especially sports, if you want to write for us, take pictures, send us videos to be included in newscasts like this, send it to news@blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. We are a community service. This is what we do for the community. But we also we pay our freelancers, so be one. Hey, let's switch over to industry and economic development. So economic development is so key in the Black Belt because we have all this land and we have all this ability to, and we also have Craig Field, which is huge in Selma. So we have numbers from how well the industries did in 2023. I got a chance to speak with Wayne Vardaman with the Selma Dallas County Economic Development Authority, which is always moving behind the scenes, always, but you don't always hear. So we wanted to let the community know what's going on. And a lot of the major stuff that's going on is at Craig Field. They have 4 industrial parks in Dallas County. And most of the growth right now is happening at Craig Field. A lot of it's aeronautics related. And so they had released numbers that $108 million came into
Wow.
Dallas County in 2023 and through investment plans from different industries that have, some of them got tax agreements and tax incentives to come. And it's leading up to 340 jobs over 5 years. A lot of times people say, oh, nothing's ever happening here. There's not good jobs here. Well, that's not true at all. A lot of these jobs pay $20, $25 an hour. That's Sayuniwa. They make parts for the Santa Fe. And there's big expansions going on at Sayuniwa. They have a new, they call it Dyza and tooling, that is the molding system for handles for an upgraded, new and improved Santa Fe, a new model, MX5, I think is what it's called. And so now that they are moving into that, they do this for Hyundai. And
Wow.
so now Hyundai's investment was $24 million into this molding that they need in order to make the parts that go into the Santa Fe. Sayun Iwa also did their own investment this year and added jobs. You know, when they first brought them in 15 years ago, they had 70 to 80 jobs. Now they have 500 jobs at Sayun Iwa. So we're going to be, yes, we are going to be meeting with them, and we're going to do a series on industry in the Black Belt and get a front row seat to see what they do there, because a lot of people just don't know. And I think that's the key. And I say this to the industrial development folks. I know they like to be quiet about what their deals they're making because they don't want it to get out and ruin the deal. But once it's out, we got to champion these deals and let people know what's coming, because it lifts the economy to know what great things we have. And also the fact that the folks that work these jobs do not always live right here in Selma, Dallas County. They have a certain number that they've given of jobs that people travel here from Montgomery, Prattville, and that's got to be a Black Belt issue. We got to look at our quality of life.
Right.
If we want them to stay here, we got to look at quality of life. So, but I do love, that's a new billboard right there and a new sign, pretty new sign that you starting to see this uptick in activity at our industrial parks, and it's pretty exciting. Now, we also did a story out of Demopolis. Their industrial park made a big improvement of adding a connector road. It seems small, but it's not small, because what it does is it attracts businesses to come that knows that they can get their distribution in and out quickly, egress, ingress, that matters. You know, if you don't have, at the time they had where trucks had to turn around and they got backed up and they had to wait for each other to move. Now that they have this, they can come in and out of that park so much easier. And now it opened up the availability for 50 more acres. And that's in the Demopolis Industrial Park. So we love the stories of growth and economic development in the Black Belt.
Yeah, and even Marion, you had done the story about the airport in Marion, and they have land there that now that the airport is able to do fuel and it's it's easier for aircraft to come in and out. They have industrial development available now too. So.
Absolutely. And they also offer fuel now at the Marion Airport. A lot of big changes we're seeing at airports and also the industrial land around airports, because, distribution is huge in the Black Belt. You also see the West Alabama corridor that's going to be growing that connects Thomasville and Demopolis to Tuscaloosa and further, because really 4-laning in there is going to be key, because we have so much land down here, and being able to get that accessibility, we haven't always been easy to get to in the Black Belt.
And that's been a big problem. Infrastructure. That's why you hear infrastructure.
Yep.
When you're talking about infrastructure and you're specifically talking about railroads and highways and airports, it is essential for economic and for just the quality of life development.
Absolutely. Hey, let's go over to another. One of the things we love about the Black Belt too is the arts.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've got going on and going for us now is some really creative people, and AC
We
Reeves
do.
is one of those super creative people. Tell us what she's working on.
AC Reeves is working on a fantastic. She did the windows. She had the windows of the Five and Dime, her art establishment, and that went on for 2 years. Now she's doing something new for this year. It is chefs in residence, and these chefs are making food and art form. Look how beautiful those carrots are.
Oh yeah, I love
And
it.
the chef that's there to start the whole thing off is her name is Erica Allen. She is from here. That's her in the kitchen, and but she lives in New Jersey. Her husband is a whole animal butcher. He's down with her making breads and doing Greek meatballs. She's doing vegetables and that type of locally sourced vegetables that she's making into different types of salads and different dishes. There's room for 100 people in the Five and Dime, and they're going to do 100 dishes a day, no more, no less. And it's not a restaurant. It's a place for you to come, have a meal together, enjoy some, as they say, fellowship. It's a place to be together and have
When
lunch
my
together.
mom went, my mom ate there yesterday.
Oh, I bet it was good.
Yeah, and actually brought me some chicken salad.
Oh, wow.
To go. So I ate that, a couple of times, and some Rice Krispie treats that Erica made. So
Yeah.
fancy Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah, she says she loves to do the Rice Krispie treats because everybody loves them.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I know it's sitting over there like begging me to give it a try. And we'll try that later today. But yeah, I love that the visiting chefs is a great idea because you know what? Restaurant is a difficult industry. Okay, it's hard to make a living in restaurants, and maybe it's a creative way to get some neat cuisine into the Black Belt.
And that's exactly right. That's one of the things. We have an interview that is it up yet? Have we got it up yet? It's going to be.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
We haven't. This is from the interview that I was able to do with them, and they mentioned first of all that is not a restaurant; it's an art establishment. And the chefs that come in get to experiment and do things that they wouldn't normally be able to do in a restaurant because it is an art establishment. So this is, like you say, a way to bring in some creative and interesting and new different ways of using the foods that we already have here. And maybe even finding ways to get other foods here as well. So I think it's going to be fun. Erica's going to be there for 3 weeks. I think she's got 2 more weeks left. And then there will be other chefs come in for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time. And AC said that in between, if there's not a chef, she's going to do some of the cooking and experiment.
That's a beautiful kitchen she's got back there.
Oh, it is.
That commercial kitchen is gorgeous.
Yeah. And there's more video of that kitchen on that interview.
Yeah. So if you go to multimedia on blackbeltnewsnetwork.com and also on our YouTube channel, we've got that video up now. And also sign up for our daily newsletter. 3:00,
Yes.
Our headlines come out.
I tell you what, the daily newsletter helps me because, I write a bunch of the stories. I don't write all of them. And so it helps me to keep up with the other stuff that we have going on. So that's a big, useful thing to have.
And send your news. We want to write about you. We've got another story coming up later about a new mural painted in Pleasant Hill, isn't it?
Yes.
So
yes.
We're getting story ideas from you guys. It's wonderful. Send more.
Yeah.
Send your photos, send your videos.
Somebody called you and told you about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Good. Someone called me about that one. All right. What have we got next? Oh, yeah. So the tornado coverage, the anniversary was last week, and we covered a lot about that. I don't know if we did some of it in our newscast.
Yeah.
But one element we didn't talk about was the unveiling of the mosaic. So tell us a little more about that.
That's Joe Taylor, local artist, had the idea. She said she was literally coming home with her husband, and right shortly after the tornado, and it was things were running through her mind, and she was remembering her friend Linda Munzio, who is a mosaic artist that lives in Cuba, Alabama, who did a mosaic in 2011 after the tornado that went through Jefferson County and Tuscaloosa. She took bits of broken dishes and made a mosaic that's actually on display in Washington, D.C. or New York. Anyway, she made this big, beautiful mosaic. and she had the idea of doing one for us here in Selma. And people for almost a year now, people from all over town have come in, brought broken glasses and dishes and whatnot, and put together that mosaic. Well, it was unveiled Saturday at a big event that was going to start out as just the unveiling, but as you see there, it ended up being a severe weather preparedness event with information all about severe weather preparedness. Cindy got an opportunity to interview our meteorologist, Shane Butler, who's one of the nicest people you will ever meet. I got a chance to sit down with James Spann, who's also one of the nicest. Both of them were mingling and talking to the folks in the crowd and telling people about their experiences of the day. We had Selma's finest out demonstrating some of their equipment. The interviews that Cindy and I did with the meteorologists are up on our website. You can go see those. They're very interesting. You need to go check those out. It was a beautiful experience. And I believe we have some explanation, a story about the mosaic that explain what Joe Taylor was doing in that video was telling what the symbolism of the mosaic is. All that's at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com.
Yeah, it is really neat because she got all the patterned pottery and china from people and put it into the design of symbols of the tornado and Selma. So
and it was really fascinating. One of the things that she wanted was for people to be able to go and take one of the biggest symbolisms is broken pieces put together to make something new and more beautiful.
That's right.
As you heal
and more whole. Yeah,
make it more whole. And one of the things she says, people will now be able to go up to it and go, look, there's my grandmother's china that was broken, and that actually happened at the unveiling. A lady walked up, saw it, and touched her piece of china.
That
was an heirloom that came down from her and her family for years, got destroyed in the tornado, and now she says it lives on forever right there.
I love it. And it's on display at Gallery 905, right?
Actually, it's at Carneal Arts Building.
Okay, it's at Arts Revive.
Yeah, it's at Arts Revive.
Yeah, right. And it's on the wall at Arts Revive.
Yes, and it's beautiful. You need to go see it.
Yeah, she made it in the create space that they do.
Yeah, she did it
across the street. Okay, gotcha.
Now, she's still got some side panels she wants to do. There's still plenty of stuff. And she said that if anybody's interested in doing a smaller mosaic that'll eventually be displayed with that mosaic, also stories. She's going to have stories from the tornado that people tell her, which was
I like that too.
So those will be available for people too when the whole project is done.
Okay, well, this has been a great addition, y'all. Let's I always make sure to thank our sponsors. Thank you, Randall Miller. And we're going to be doing some new work with them. So you'll see a new ad coming up here soon. If you want to be a sponsor, yes, email us at news@blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. Also, the best way to get, besides the newsletter, is to follow us on social media. We are on here all the time. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok is doing really great.
Good deal.
Look up Black Belt News Network on TikTok and Instagram, the reels that we've been sharing, and YouTube. So, we share it everywhere. We're just trying to find you guys and you readers and where you are. That is our plan.
And you can get on your phone or your device, whatever you call it. One thing I wanted to mention while we were talking about weather and whatnot. Look at me. Point. I'm Italian. I talk with my hands. We're going to have a couple more really cold snaps tonight and tomorrow, so cover your plants. And be sure that you check on elderly friends and relatives because, older people don't feel the temperature extremes as well. Make sure they're good. But mainly bring in your pets. Well, not mainly, but just as important, bring in your pets. But here's something interesting, Cindy. Welcome to Alabama in the winter. Next week, both Shane Butler and James Spann forecast calls for a warm-up. It's going to be rainy, but it's going to warm up. By Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to see highs in the low 70s.
Finally. Well, I'll tell you, make sure to drip your, turn your water pipes on, your faucets on, because I did not do that one day this week, and we ended up with frozen pipes for the day.
Yeah.
We also woke up to no power. So, but that came back on. So it's tricky in the winter weather, but we also did get a report to not run them when the weather gets better, water, so that we can conserve water. So
yeah, actually, I got a from Lyndon. Lyndon said especially that the water it run a little low. So at night when it's frozen, run your drip, let it drip. But as soon as the temperature is above freezing,
turn it off.
Water off so that the tanks can fill back up. And
That's right.
what's good for any town.
Yes, everybody.
Right.
So yes, all of that good stuff today.
It's great. It's fun doing it. Thank you so much.
It is. Thanks for joining us. We will see you guys next week for the Black Belt Newscast.
See you next week.